right? And sometimes as designers, you're asked to design things and you don't question what it is that you're doing. But I think what should you know as a designer designing is the why of your job. I think so many of us are so disconnected as to why we're doing things. We do it mechanically. We're there Monday to Friday, and we have to, design this UI, you design this interface as a container for certain data points, right? And so I think the awareness of the action that you do as a job should not bypass you as a designer because you become alienated from the process itself. And so when I talk about, myself being a design activist, I think these are all of the questions that I ask. And so to wrap this up, I think in part, the role of the designer, especially now, needs to be critical, right? It needs to consider the moment that we're in and also consider um, and anticipate what potentially can be done with this information, this data you're collecting about your users, in our case, women. And let me just use one example that might be applicable for everyone. If you are a resident in Canada and you have a bank account, you would have noticed that now you could go into your RBC and you see where you've spent money on LCBO, your groceries, your gas, and all of that. What prevents a company like RBC when you go to buy a house in the future to say, you know what, this person's always at the LCBO, they must be an alcoholic? What prevents them to actually characterize you? So my heuristics basically are ethodic heuristics. And these are heuristics that enable the characterization of. That's the whole, what separates them from other heuristics is that these heuristics really help combat the characterization of people in varying contexts. So you ask yourself as a user, I want to buy a house in the future. Does the fact that I go to the LC every Friday affect the credit calculations? And you may say, okay, that's far off, but keep in mind that Amazon was once a company that sold shoes. You know what Amazon does today? They basically own a company called One Medical, which houses much of US healthcare information systems. So we have to be cognizant of the fact that what we may collect as data points of people that seem benign, oh yeah, we're just collecting this. What can that be used to harm people in the future?